Hey guys, I'm sorry about today, right?
Yep, got it.
Ta-da.
All right, cool.
Where he's coming from. No, he's on Sawmill in Yonkers.
And then over the weekend,
I
during
got
the
you.
week or over the weekend.
Hi, baby.
Yeah.
She looks so beautiful.
Hi. Thank you.
Oh, you're falling. 2, 3. Just fall down.
Okay, whatever, it's up.
Hang tight. Just gotta plug this in so it won't die on us. What the?
You should have learned iambic pentameter. If not the word, at least what iambic pentameter is. Turned into a college laureate when I started drinking. No, I actually went to a shit stirrer convention. Oh my God. Water treatment. They had a convention, they said, I wanted it to the convention. I was like, what's this? This is the water treatment convention. Oh, the professional shit stirrer assembly. What are you here for? Oh, I'm doing a symposium on whether or not the bugs used in bioflocculation are cognitive. They're like, what? Yeah. What's your name? Chester Whipplefilter, I say. My symposium is at 8:00 p.m. in the back. I will be there. By the way, I was just pocketing all the free shit we were giving out, like they had all the volunteers.
Hey, Q. Hey, Auntie, we're good.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, I'm gonna
I forgot about that.
You should tell her that thing you were talking.
Oh, yeah, because she's part of that.
Oh, she's part of it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so late. She's been sending out so many emails.
I can't keep up. I have too much going on. And
I'm at work, I can't keep anything in my phone. Right,
Yeah.
by the way, I got news.
Still waiting for those bills and get these broke.
Oh, I brought some cigars for us tonight.
Who's having a kid?
All right, I won't
Who's
touch
having a
it.
kid?
No, we're having cigars, we're not having any more kids. The house in New York.
All the reason we'll celebrate.
Exactly.
Remember, kids, condoms prevent minivans.
Not that I know, unless somebody brings it up on the floor. Okay.
I love kids.
Everybody's in a bucket buddy, everybody's in a 50-50. Everybody's in a bucket buddy, everybody's in a 50-50.
I left my wallet.
Frank, right? Bucket buddy and done already. Done? Done. We do it on Zoom.
Yeah, tell the people on Zoom to Venmo us our.
We can, we'll get machines. The state is issuing us, credit card.
They don't want 'em. Everything gets taxed from
So we're fundraising. No, we'll get.
I thought we were a tax
I
exempt
should-
society.
I'll show you
that.
how to
Only
do it.
tax exempt on certain stuff.
I'll show you how to do it. Take-
Best.
One pepperoni.
No, actually, no, order 2 pies, 2 egg pies.
Look, Howard.
No,
Oh, boy.
I start to come downstairs and tell her order. All right, guys, I apologize. You also take a respective station. Authorized desk to county retire. By the power and the authority vested in me, I'm about to open the Yonkers City Post number 60 transaction of any business that may well come before it. All right. Come in. You sit down. Everybody's got their cards? Everybody here is actually paid up. We're good to go. Okay, sorry for all my reports. All right, Chapman? Cover, Fred Rest.
Let us bow our heads, O sovereign ruler of the universe, who art the Lord of hosts and God of peace. Without thee, our efforts are vain. Continue thy blessings upon us and our families, pray thee, and guide us during our deliberations. We beseech thee, O God, to bless the dependents of our departed comrades, and to comfort all who gave their loved ones to our nation's cause. Bless and strengthen the sick, needy, and the afflicted. Bless, we ask thee, the children, families, and staff of our national home, and help us to fulfill our duty toward them. Continue thy favor upon our order, and help us to practice the spirit of true comradeship, both in our councils and with the world at large. Enable us to better the community in which we live through our devotion to duty as citizens. Now have a moment of silent prayer for our departed comrades, and for those missing in action, and those held as prisoners of war. These and all other necessary blessings we ask of thee, mighty ruler of the universe.
Attention, comrades, join me in pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Then on. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we see. The purpose of this corporation shall be fraternal, patriotic, historical, charitable, and educational. To preserve and strengthen comradeship amongst its members and to assist worthy comrades. To perpetuate the memory and the history of our dead and to assist their surviving spouses and all. Maintain true allegiance to the government of the United States and fidelity to its Constitution and laws. To foster true patriotism. Maintain and extend the institutions of American freedom. And to preserve and defend the United States from all enemies. Roll call of officers. Yeah. Yellow thing there. The orange thing. Nope, I don't see it. Hey, Rick, where's the roll call?
Yep, hold on. Sorry, everything's a little, my computer's acting up right now. Stand by. All right, hold on. Give me,
I'll take care of it, Rick.
yeah, please.
Commander here. Senior Vice. Present. Junior Vice.
Here.
Adjutant. On Zoom. Quartermaster.
Yeah.
Chaplain.
Here.
1 year trustee.
Here.
2 year trustee. It's actually trading up at 3 year trustee. Sergeant.
Here.
Oh, service officer.
She's working late.
Okay, excuse me. Thank you very much. All right. On the membership, okay. Reported committees. Good. Committee, committee report, golf committee.
Hi, Golf Committee. Golf Committee is happy to report that preparation for the Yonkers City Post 2023 Memorial Remembrance Golf outing are currently underway. I don't know why. Anyway, the committee has met twice so far. We secured the Spring Lake Golf Course for June 5th. We moved the golf course, we moved the date from, the last Monday of May to the first Monday of June. There's been a change in management at the Spring, so we do not know exactly what the cost is going to be. The scramble would be $150 for individual golfer, $550 for a foursome, $35 for an individual just coming to the barbecue, and $20 $50 in raffle tickets. Price includes contents of breakfast, a round of golf, beverages and snacks. We return to the post after the barbecue. We'll have a 50-50 raffle and prizes. We had 500 brochures made up and can hand them out, or we can hand them out tonight. The committee requests that all members to support. If you participate, it will be a great time. We need volunteers. Biggest thing, we need volunteers. All right. We're asking for whole sponsors. So anybody who works for a company, whatever company you work for, whatever insurance company you pay your insurance to, whatever doctor you go to, ask these people to please contribute to the golf outing because it's for the vets. All right. This concludes the report. All right. So let me just digress. All right. So again, this is the biggest fundraiser we have. Right. So the commander, myself, and the committee, we take this very serious. We meet every other week in regard to raising money for this post, right? Again, this is our biggest fundraiser. Guys, I can't force this enough. Yeah, what do you got?
Events committee, what you guys are.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, the biggest thing we learned from years past, right, is support from the post, is the help. We need the help. The commander and myself, we asked Nancy, who was one of the Warrior Project in New York State, if she could bring in some help. She said she can. However, we want to see our post members there, right? It's for us. So this is, last year we raised, what we raised, about $10,000. We raised about $10,000 at the golf outing. That's a huge amount of money for the post, right? So we want the post members to really help support us. I know a lot of you guys work. If you need a letter for work, the commander will be more than happy to write you a note, right? That you need a day off. Okay, and it's not a whole day. It's just a few hours, right? We need some guys, some members, some folks. I do meetings at work. I can't say guys and gals. It's everything's folks. So we need folks. We need folks for the day. We need folks for the early morning breakfast and setup and collecting, and we need folks at the end to help break down, help set up the barbecue. Okay, so we're really asking for as much support as we can get. Right?
How much of the business is sponsoring? Like, do you approach a business and say, would you give $100 or $200 or?
Yes, whatever they can give.
Here's that-
Whatever business you have, we have a brochure, right? You bring the brochure, and you say, listen, this is for the United States veterans, for Outpost 6066. Can you please contribute to our post fundraiser?
There's three separate sponsorships. One's 150, the other one's 350.
Right.
One is 150, the other one's 300, the other one's 600.
Okay.
And again, it's written inside the pamphlets, but yet with the advertising that goes out for billboards, they go on, and then there's a whole sponsorship board that goes premium, gold.
That's what I was.
Right.
Thanks.
But if you have a sponsor that's only gonna give $50 or $75,
I get, yeah.
right, take that, and we'll give them a letter of recognition.
You're not doing anything with like a T-shirt with.
Now,
What we do is we do flags, and the flags themselves are gonna have, turn around, they have our symbol on it, then it goes down, it says, whole sponsored by, and then it could be, Home Bots Deli, 374 Yonkers Avenue, telephone number,
So
X1.
it's just free advertising.
and we do a board, right, of all the people who contribute. So again, if we have businesses that can only give $50 or $100, take the money, and we'll give them a letter of recognition. Right?
There's also gonna be 50-50 raffles, $100. And when we hand out even if that's all they wanna do is just, give a donation. All the donations are tax deductible. Right off.
So do you have a letter that goes with the pamphlet?
No, we can issue a letter, we can send them a letter via email, or we can issue them a letter of thanks.
Mhm.
That's easy. All right, basically, it's a fundraiser for us. So whatever,
But
so
the
let's,
stuff that he just said, the tax bill.
If they need
Yes,
to tax
we
it
have
up,
that.
well, what happens, we'll send out the letter saying, we're only donating because we want the tax.
That's
No, right.
where.
And again,
I'm
if they say
coming
we're
from.
only doing it because of tax exemption. We have letters that we send back out to certain EIN number, we'll
Okay.
put down, again, many box, Delegate Teston, donated $50,
Yeah.
you know, to us.
Yeah.
And then we put down our corporate name with our EIN number. and then they can apply. But we don't do that every
June
month.
5th.
No, I know, but if someone's giving
Monday,
$650, they're gonna want that letter.
Yep.
Some of them do. Most of the guys that we have that give the $600 are, they've been giving it for almost every. And it's like Murphy's Law Pub, used construction, used contracting. There's certain guys that, they've been terrific with the post office.
and what they'll do is these people that contribute that money, that, you know, they buy a whole, they'll buy the whole, they'll buy a gold package, but they'll also participate, they'll put force.
Okay.
You know, so, like I said, whatever we can get, but basically, again, we need help. It's the biggest thing. Help.
That's
Okay?
Building committee,
And so Conrad, the building committee has encountered several problems over this month. So we still have a leak on the roof, or possibly a window, and the water is destroying the ceiling of the tiles of the meeting hall. So,
okay.
in the back. So, yeah. And it's going upstairs into the apartment as well, so we're gonna have
That's a
to.
separate league.
That's a separate league, it's not the same? Oh, it reads like the same one. So, yeah, so we got that going on. Then, the main floor bathrooms and the bar areas, it's gonna require some painting. Water trails can be seen coming down from the ladies' bathroom wall, the right of the, right beside of the door, and the front wall of the bar that has to be repaired and painted. The main hall lights are out. A facility dimming switch was located and had to be replaced because of the high wattage of the switch, and that cost us over $350. The commander replaced it, and it is working fine. Then we have the post flagpole in the front of the building is loose, and the top wall is missing. The pole is fiberglass and hinged. Is easily lowered and raised with the hand with just a couple of people. The committee went to DNS Tools in Elmsburg and located the parts that we need. We are thinking of attaching 6 or 8 foot yardem so that we can display more banners in the Norfolk style. The committee is requesting volunteers to fix the pole as soon as possible before it comes down and hurts someone. We also need volunteers to replace ceiling tiles in the downstairs hallway. It was destroyed months ago, and the bartender spilled garbage can full of water in the main floor bar. We're also looking for volunteers to replace the fluorescent lighting in the dugout pub bars downstairs. We want to replace the fluorescent light bulbs with 2-foot lights and LEDs. Ray Wazinsko said that he would replace the doors downstairs, but someone needs to pick them up from the store and bring them to the post. And then finally, we estimated putting security cameras in and around the post, estimated from Security Corp for about $12,850 to install 18 cameras. Too much expense in our eyes, so we need to find an alternative. That concludes my report.
Everybody understand that? You know, just the amount of stuff that needs to get done. This stuff happens every week.
Burn the place down and start over.
We got a lot of work that we need to get done, that we need help with. Okay, guys, anytime that, if you make yourself available, turn around, if you have any sort of mechanical capability, please, we need help. Say like with the flagpole in front, it's not gonna take too much, it takes a couple of guys just to lift everything up and take 3 bolts out and lower it down. There's a couple, 3 leveling bolts underneath The problem is that each one of these flagpoles is proprietary, meaning that their tools are specific size. So these bolts are actually 30 millimeter, which nobody in the world has them except for these flagpole companies. Flagpole companies willing to loan us stuff so we can knock this stuff out. Again, like I said, you see during the winter, you watch this flagpole, it's gonna kill somebody. But when you go into the downstairs, and you come in, it's absolutely disgusting. The ceiling tiles get destroyed with water. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to put in new ceiling tiles. So if anybody has a couple of hours, we'll pick this stuff up. Same thing, we need guys that have trucks just to go pick up material and be able to drop it. Again, if you can't get touch the winches, they've been overloaded with a bunch of stuff going on.
How soon you want this stuff done?
Whatever we can.
All right.
Flagpole's
See what I got
priority.
next. I'll see what I can do next.
Okay. What's up? Okay, well, it's not to replace it. What we're gonna do is just when we take it down, we're gonna clean it up. We just want to secure it and we'll bring it back up. We got the whole, the thousands of dollars gonna cost.
What about the one they sell at Home Depot, that's $200?
It's not gonna last in an industrial.
It's a commercial industrial flagpole.
Okay.
And thank you.
I got one at my house.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. All right, going back on, what do we have, Buddy Poppy? Oh, yeah, Jeff. What happened to Maria over there?
You still on?
What is the rolling up and down thing?
Oh,
This is
my
stuff
camera's
that's
acting up.
Spaceballs
She's
effect.
surfing the web.
No, that's not Maria. It's actually my camera.
Okay.
It's acting up.
Give me a sweatshirt.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
The Body Poppy Committee has received the order of Buddy canisters that we have ordered for from the Department of New York. Poppies have not arrived. As reported in last month's report, we have approximately 20 canisters loaded and prepared to be deployed. The committee has identified and been given permission at 18 locations to place our canisters for Memorial Day distributions. Buddy Poppy Committee is requesting in a form of a motion to deploy these canisters. Again, and requesting in a form of a motion to deploy these canisters.
Okay, so I guess we gotta do the motion before you finish your report. All right, guys, so we got a motion to deploy 20 Buddy Poppy canisters. First by Murphy, seconded by Fury, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That commander of Buddy Poppy.
Plus for my two, thanks. Guys, the VFW Buddy Poppy program is actually one of the oldest programs in all veterans organizations. Again, it started right after World War I. And again, it's to remember a day, and it's we do get donations off it, but it's also just to turn around. One of our major things that we're supposed to do is educate the community about exactly what veterans are about, and again to perpetuate our history and let people know. Again, for years, you'll find out when you go someplace and you sit down and you're actually handing out Buddy Poppies. People come up and just thank you, and we'll have a remembrance of so-and-so family member or something like that. These things, like I said, they're donations, you give them away in order to teach. So again, they can be used anytime, if any sort of event going on. Come on down, we got the cans all set up, just bring them out, or just grab a couple of handful of Buddy Poppies and just give them out. If you have some sort of function going on at work, it's coming up around Memorial Day, hand the stuff out. You got something going on at school, and you're doing something with the vets, just hand them out. And again, it's a little help. It's just make sure that people remember the guys and girls. Any other reports we have out there? Investigating committee reports.
Oh, sorry.
I guess we're
Thank
gonna
you
go
for
with
the
reading of the previous minutes. That's it.
officers be added 12%. Reading of minutes from January 2023, reading recurring membership applications, 3 new membership applications. First applicant doesn't qualify, second applicant is John Zakovich, Gulf War, Wayne Hobb, Iraq and Afghanistan. Service officers report April 23, Easter event at the post for veterans and families, 1,200 hours to 1,600 hours. Danny, Army vet, NYPD officer recently passed from liver cancer from toxins from Iraq. PAC Act paid out. All veteran must register for the PAC Act. Quartermaster report, quartermaster account is $32,094.10. General fund is $12,286. Post relief fund is $19,808. Post canteen fund is $2,077.52. Home building fund is $54,532.14. CDs is $67,598.13. Bank of America maturing is $28,063.83. Webster Bank maturing is $39,534.30. Total maturing is $67,598.13. Total cash and investments is $156,301.88. Report of committees and event committees. Super Bowl went well. Made even with money, food, and money that came in. Money spent $123. Stop and Shop $410 at BJ's. $238 at Lowe's. $32. $120. Brought in $95 in the 50/50s. Unknown amount for the door entry at Weeks Clean, Post outside, and filtration at downstairs bar area. Looking to make events more family oriented. Outing is going to be June 5th. Working on pricing for breakfast. Biggest fundraiser of the year. Need volunteers. Buddy Poppy, we had ordered 1,500 poppies from the Department of New York. The cost was $247.50. We also ordered 10 new cans from the VFW National Store at a cost of $49. The committee had reloaded 18 cans from media distribution with the Post logo on the American flag, purple banners, and 20 copies per can. Buddy Poppy cans are serialized for accountability purposes. Comrade, our family member in distress. Comrade Michael Staros' father passed at the end of the month. Comrade Anthony Terrell has cancer returning. Remembering the National Home for Children. Reading of monthly communications and new business. David Adjutant Bob Mitchell notified of us of the 2023 VFW Spring Conference, 31 March to 2 April in Albany. Receive a request from Morrisville, North Carolina for a donation of POWMIA awareness. Received a thank you from the National Legion on Mental Health of Westchester for a donation of $250. Received a request from the Patriot Cause for donation. Received an update for our Philco guide books on donations being used. Department of New York request submission for 2022 to 2023 program. Journal ad. Full page is $90. Half page is $65. Quarter page is $40. Received an email. IPF website services with a bill for $360. Motion to pay. Bill was accepted. Old business kitchen contract is $150,000 from Westchester. Finally got email to us. Need to send a 48-page contract to the contractor to be finalized by all. Hometown Hero banners proposal went to City Council and Teamsters and is approved. Post 1666 will be running the program and having the Veteran Council of Yonkers vet the individual. Distribution 2 meeting in Poughkeepsie. We went over PACT Act information. See, credit card machines are coming to every post to assist enrollment. Tons of money and grants, inspections, and trustees report due at the end of the month. Big issue with members' dues not being paid. incident at the post involving sexual harassment and workplace violence. DGLI increased to 500,000. Good for the order, text vote to Nick Lynch about calling members using robocalls, use robocalls, general post info, use spreadsheet to call members and do morale checks, looking for a reestablished quarterly newsletter. Members looking for support in home repair, post will refer people. Closing ceremony, closing prayer, retire colors. Post 1666 officially closed for business at 2000 hours. Next meeting 14 March 2023 at 1900.
Have any questions on the minutes? I get a motion to accept them as read. Motion by Chris, second by Mabel, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Thanks, Rick.
Anytime.
Quartermaster's report.
Okay, quartermaster report says, sorry, my paper's missing one. All right, so, in the quartermaster account, we have, $31,015.96. The building fund account, we have $54,532.56. In a post canteen fund, we have $2,077.52. And in CD certificate deposits, we have $67,598.13. And that gives us a grand total of $155,224.15. And again, we're bonded by National Mutual Insurance Company until September 2023. Quartermaster report.
Any questions on the quartermaster report? Motion to accept the quartermaster report is read. Fury, Holiday, all in favor? Motion carried. All right, is there a comrade or a family member or comrade in distress? Is there a comrade or a family member or comrade in distress? All right, please all rise. Remember National Children.
Almighty God, we ask for your divine blessings on the children, family, staff of our National Home for Children in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. May your spirit dwell with them forever, giving them health and guiding their lives. Help us to always be faithful to our fallen comrades by providing shelter, guidance, support for their families. We ask in your holy name.
Please be seated. Go back to unfinished business. Go back to the unfinished business. We had two major things that are going on with the unfinished business. The first one is the hometown hero banners. Everybody have a clue what those things are?
Yes.
Okay, when you drive through all these beautiful villages and towns, City of Yonkers took our proposal that we submitted 2 years ago, and they're going forward with the hometown hero program. Problem is after sitting in all our committees and dealing with the city and their issues, we decided to take it on ourselves, and we're gonna operate and run the program. Okay, I have all the information about the three sizes of the banners. We have the reason for the three different sizes. One goes on a telephone pole or a heavy light pole. The other ones go on the decorated poles. Depending on where you purchase them, are going to be where they're going to be located. So if they're going to be placed down in Larkin Plaza on those smaller black ornamental poles, it's going to be smaller. It's going to be bigger. Now again, this is for anybody that was a veteran that served, past, present, or serving today. So again, if you want to purchase a banner, you call them. The biggest thing is we just got to make sure that we have a decent picture, a pixel type that we can actually make a decent banner. So a lot of the stuff coming out of the newspapers and stuff just don't work. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you have a picture of Uncle Bernie and Uncle Bernie served in the Army, it doesn't matter if it was 1950, 1960. But you want to purchase a banner, we're going to do it. The thing is, we're also going to vet. We're going to work through City of Yonkers with vetting the individuals to make sure that they actually did something. Because as a lot of you guys know, that you have people that failed to conform, they were thrown out of the military, but that's not the stuff we're looking for. We also don't want any Rambo or Commando. We don't want to be putting all over the city of Yonkers pictures of guys running around with machine guns or with a K-bar in their teeth. Okay, you understand the concepts of what we're looking for? We'll sit down and start going over this. We got Excel spreadsheets. We're going to break down exactly who's going into it. I got another meeting with DPW, and again, we had to be a little nice to some of the Teamsters so that we can actually get some of this stuff taken care of. Once we start taking, like I said, once we start getting this list down and getting the photographs and putting whatever, we're going to try to make sure that we get these things up on the poles prior to Memorial Day, and I want to take it down after Veterans Day. The reason being is I don't want to leave them up all winter to get destroyed by the weather. And again, you know yourself, the city of Yonkers, you won't get destroyed. We're going to have the city of Yonkers actually store them and then put them back up. For the ones that we're going to do, which are going to be local in front of our place here, we're going to turn around and work with our own people, put our own stuff on. I'm sure that once other people see it, they're going to get in touch with the city of Yonkers and they're going to jump on board and want to. Okay, the next old business. We talked about that we applied to try to get the Veterans Day Parade restarted in the city of Yonkers. Run into some problems with politics, as always, you know, it is. And again, it looks like we're going to be doing a Veterans Parade, not so much a Veterans Day Parade. So again, that means that we'll still be doing our Veterans Day or Armistice Day ceremony here, or if we want to pick another location, the Vets Committee decides that they have another location they want to do it. We're still going to honor Armistice Day. We're still going to honor our guys that fell in World War I. We're still going to honor all veterans. But going back on to the Veterans Day Parade, this is where it gets a little murky. City of Yonkers Veteran Service Officer is trying to get $200,000 in funding coming out of different social groups within the city of Yonkers, such as the Mexican Chamber of Commerce, such as different political organizations in South Yonkers, different groups. Thinking that he can get about 200,000. And again, if anybody that's ever run a parade before knows that's peanuts. You know what I mean? With the amount of prices that you actually pay for transportation, what you got to get the city of Yonkers to kick back in order to provide the police services, and also transportation, liability insurance, and then just paying the bands. You know, bands, school bands, all that, they don't come free. Everybody gets police in order. But City of Yonkers and their influences came to us because we're a 509c3, and they would like us to be in charge of the funding. And again, I let them know right off the bat, I would not be in charge of the funding unless things are set up correctly, where everything is bonded, where we have one quartermaster, and we have at least 3 trustees that are verifying every check and everything that's going on. And again, I said I would only do this if we bring it to a vote and see if you guys want to go through it. Remember, there'd be a lot of liability. God forbid if there's a single dime that's missing, that means everybody's going to be pointing fingers at us and saying that we're the bad guys. So again, put that in your back pocket and think about it before you turn around and say yay or nay on doing something. I mean, it's a lot of money, but again, if it's something that we can do to bring a veterans rate back in, again, to try to teach. The other thing that I'm having a little bit of problems with, I was looking at the old parades that we used to do. And again, when we used to start off on Radford Street, come down through Getty Square, Manor House, past the Philip C. Manor, Civil War Monument, the War Dead Monument, the Spanish American War Monument, then we were looking to end it down in Larkin Plaza by the Gold Star Mother Monument, and then open up and try to do something with the local businesses where they would set up tents and we can set up bouncy stuff and have kids do stuff. Again, try to do more of Americana thing, a whole veteran thing coming together. That was my proposal. City is now kicking back and saying they instead of leaving Larkin Plaza and doing the short run, they want to do a long run and start at say down on South Broadway, being Harriet, because their concept is we want to show welcome back to Broadway, bring it back. I don't know if that's the right thing to do if South Broadway is the correct place to march anymore. But again, I would like to bring everything through the monuments through the city and also down to the newer neighborhoods that are built in the city of Yonkers to show our new residents that, you know, the city of Yonkers gives a damn about our veterans. Do I have anything from the floor? What do you guys think? Anybody?
march through the new neighborhoods, is what you're saying?
What I want to do is march down, if they're gonna start up on South Florida, my biggest thing is, where they built all the new stuff down by Larkin Plaza, down by the waterfront. I want those people to see. I don't want to do just the same thing as their street fairs that they do on New Main Street. I'd rather fall back in and hit each one of the monuments. And again, do like they did years ago, we have a different group stop off and do a 21 gun salute in front of each of the monuments, have a stand where you're walking by, actually get some decent people from the military, actually go by and be the dignitaries, and like to set it up as a correct parade, not as some sort of garbage.
I have a question.
Yes.
So would it be just 1666, or we would have all the other VFWs joining us?
But
Or we would have
attempt-
the American Legions joining
Yes,
us?
we would attempt to have every organization.
I say,
That's a lot of people.
Yes.
Or it's nobody, because some people are still in the boycotting mode.
Yes.
So that's the problem when you go back, if they don't know the history, let them know the history, but some of us know the history with that Broadway situation. Everyone in this room, I don't know if they all know, but the boycotting situation started several years ago.
Well, it was a boycotting situation that came from, and it all came out of money. And it was a Riga or some sort of, forget me if I forgot the name of the term. It used to be a money that was allocated to the Central Committee of Veterans Organization. In fact, it was called Central Committee of War Veterans Organization. And again, there was tens of thousands of dollars, and all the money that was ever made was put into this fund. And as the veterans organizations were dying down, they actually built the Gold Star Mother Monument down in Larkin Plaza. With that, there's questions about where'd all the money go, what happened with everything else after. Again, this is long before I got involved. When this stuff was built, I was probably still in grammar school. There's still animosities between the old timers. And again, I don't care about the old timers, and I don't mean that to be rude to anybody here. My concept, I believe our concept as a group, is to turn around and go back into what we read in the beginning of this book about what our function. Okay, it was supposed to teach, it was supposed to expand Americana. I think that if we're looking, the only problem I would have is that if we're the ones that are in charge of the money, not comfortable with that. So again, before I go forward with this, throwing this back on the floor, we're gonna have a few committee meetings before I commit to any of this stuff, or we commit, or even if we commit to say, no, we're not gonna get involved. Answer your question.
Yes.
Is that, yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say, like, just as far as volunteering and how many members would be needed for that, because it sounds like it's something very big and something that I would definitely volunteer to be involved with. But I'm just wondering if we would have enough members who are active who would, be willing to contribute to making it happen.
I think that once you start, as I see when we do any of our major events, you get very little participation meetings, you get very little participation when things start off. But when something starts going well, more and more people jump on. And I think that if we start moving forward in something like this, and also with who we're going to be dealing with, how we're dealing with it, who's contacting Albany, who's going up and hitting the other post in Westchester County, who's making phone calls to this, who's, it's the network is also something that's phenomenal. Again, trying to bring everything back. Yeah, Joe.
I think,
Well, what am I-
I think having a parade recognizing our hometown heroes, Veterans Day, or there and about, I think is a positive thing. Us and so it's good.
I think it's also unfortunate, and when you talk about lack of monuments through the years, at least 7, 10 years now, the other side of McLean Avenue, down towards Rory's and everything, the business associations have taken the bull by the horns, and they have their own thing. It happens over there.
And
But
the problem-
unfortunately, with lack of monuments, we can't do what you're talking about, but to talk about situation like a veterans parade falling on deaf ears, marching through a community who's so indifferent to whether we're there or not. So I would suggest that you probably get better action on the other side of the plane.
And I believe in that. We do a Memorial Day.
Throwing it out.
And we do a Memorial Day down from on McLean, and we go from General Stillwell Park, and we march back down to Point Park. And then we stop off in front of the beige outpost. We do a a ceremony there and then go back over, which is
Now
excellent.
there is Vietnam Memorial that they put at Point.
Mhm.
So if that could be a stepping off or a finishing point.
But-
I know it's not Gold Star and everything else, but again, who's
again-
our audience and who's gonna get?
Right, but again, what we were looking for when we sat down originally, see McLean Avenue, and again, being involved in a lot of parades back when I played. Watching on Broadway, you see, unless when I did Color Guard, for the Hispanic Day parade, it was absolutely packed, it was absolutely terrific. But again, what we would like,
How long ago? All right. So
but again, it's not the veteran stuff, it's stuff that we're trying to involve in, we're trying to spread the Americana. And when the McLean Avenue Business Association created their own parade, it was absolutely phenomenal. But then going back down to money, so the Yankees realized that they were losing out because they were losing money on, what they do, they hijack McLean Avenue. So now that it's supposed to be a partnership, but it operates the way it is. Again, I'm asking you guys, do you think that we should move forward with this? Should we continue on? I think that I would like to sit down and see how far we can move with it. I don't want to agree with accepting the financial responsibility unless we're totally comfortable with what we're doing.
I just have one suggestion. I would be more on board with the financial thing if they spread it through 3 different posts. So if they said Yonkers Avenue, this post, and down on McLean, one member from each 3 VFWs, which means there's a representative for each VFW, and there's 3 together, then they can share that responsibility so that it all doesn't sit with one post. I mean, if somebody were to say, what's your minutes? They look at a post like ours, and I mean, I've been in other states, we have a lot of money in our post. So if money went missing, they would be like, oh, well, let's look at your numbers. And we already have a lot of money in our post. Some posts don't do as well as this post. There's a lot of money here. So for me, I would propose to share that between 3 different VFWs.
There's also the difference when you start up and doing any sort of military, you have to set up a whole separate account. You have to have that totally bonded. You have to be totally fit. And again, I like your concept. I don't think you're gonna get 3 VFWs. I do believe that you might get another VFW, you might get an American Legion involved in it. But
It should be
we don't
shared.
have 3 viable VFWs.
Yeah, but we can't answer other people's numbers. So if we say we're gonna spearhead this thing, so a parade has to start and finish somewhere. So if we say, you know what, we're gonna march as a veterans group, right? Representing Veterans Day to support our hometown heroes. And we get, supported by the town, we get that money. We can use that money, we can allocate that money into things that we need. And we
No,
can-
the
we
way-
can
the way
answer
that- the way
It's
that when
for
we-
the parade.
And
It's
when
for the
we
parade.
came down with, if there's any extra money, we're gonna split it up equally amongst the veterans organizations.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's why I think you should split it.
Right.
The finance people should be from 3 different places, in my opinion.
Right, that's a great thought, different.
Another suggestion is if we finish in South Yonkers, among the restaurants that are down on the water, would the city allow the people that are permitted to have food trucks? Could we get food trucks
Well, that's what we were
along
looking
the
at.
railroad?
Right,
and
that's what
attract
we're
it,
looking to
make it
do,
a
is
river
we-
town?
That was the reason that we were trying to figure out about bringing Park Plaza, even
River
down
town.
onto Alexander Street, in order to have food truck and then the local vendors, that was all stuff that we tried to get.
That's the winner.
The other thing that the city of Yonkers also proposed, they want to do is they want to do a black tie affair for us for finance. And then turn around and thank the veterans, have a black tie affair that they're putting together in order for us to, to be there and then again, to rebuild, to start doing. We used to have the veterans bowls and things years ago, try to start bringing that concept.
Make it a networking, invite businesses.
It's collaboration between
All
business and
Yep.
All of
and
it.
veterans. Yeah, I think it's
Food
very-
trucks, businesses that want to have a table, tent.
You have any more questions on that? Finish that one back up. Going to go back into just one more thing on old business. Again, you know that the VFW is based on programs. We had the Voice of Democracy Patriot Pens, the Teacher of the Year Award. We had the cop fireman EMT, and public safety dispatch, which was a new award this year. Everybody knows Joey Knippel from coming down here and cooking. Joey Knippel has been recognized by the National Veterans of Foreign Wars for his work in dispatch. Get his plaques and stuff that come with it, and we're probably going to set also checks for the Patriot Fans, Voice of Democracy, and for teaching that's great. Come with it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
old business. Randy McGovern, front and center. Right. He's good, front and center. Oh, fuck it, front and center.
Bible's open.
Front and center.
Oh, my God.
Probably gotta go.
Lieutenant James McGovern, in grateful recognition of unyielding adherence to the highest ideals of law enforcement in maintaining, preserving and protecting the law enforcement rights of all citizens. This award is recognized and awarded to you from the Veterans Group of War and the State Department of VFW.
Thanks, Joseph.
That was a surprise, he had no
That guy's
idea.
fantastic.
Nice.
The state sent it to me.
I don't know, whatever.
It's an invitation.
All right, Rick, I'll do your job. Don't worry about it.
Oh, Rick, beast. You heard
All
that?
right, Thursday, March 20th, we're cordially invited to the Yonkers Front Library. For the State of the City address by Mayor Michael Stein.
Whoa.
Excuse me, we don't do politics here.
Why'd you bring him up?
He sent us an invite.
Nonpartisan.
That
We
beast?
have James MacArthur, past district commander, he's running place. Seems like a nice guy, he's looking for endorsement. I don't think anybody's talking to us. Help make a difference. Yannicka, be a hero today. Yeah, PBA is asking for money.
Give it to him.
Go figure.
They should be giving money to us.
I agree.
Back to Blue, give him money.
All right, we got anything else going on with old business or unfinished business? And if you have nothing going on with the old business, I'm gonna go back to new business. Again, did everybody get the emails I sent out today about nominations and what they're all about? So basically, our process within the Veterans of Foreign Wars is nominations for postal officers are always in March, okay? We have to have our elections in April, and for the guys that are gonna, or the individuals that are gonna lead the post forward into the new administrative year. Okay, the administrative year effectively begins at the conclusion of the Department of New York's convention, so that's usually in late June, and concludes the basically, the officers take their spot. They have to be sworn in at the post level by May, and then at the end of June, when the state changes and they take over. Okay, also we have a nomination process. We're gonna have to nominate for positions of commander, senior vice commander, junior vice commander, and quartermaster. We used to nominate and elect the quartermaster, but as of last year's national convention, the chaplain is going to be appointed. Okay, a 3-year trustee needs to be voted in. Okay, so these are the nominations that we're gonna go with today. Okay, I asked you guys 3 times for nominations. Okay, the election process, we're gonna have to decide today what type of election we're having. Okay, is it gonna be a stand up and raise your hand, or we're gonna have the ballots like we normally do. Fill out the completed ballots, and then, have them counted up by the adjutant and the trustees. Or we'll pick 3 individuals that are not, voted in anything, turn around and make the votes, which is probably my recommendation, the way to do it. Just have to make sure we have 3 guys that are not gonna be officers that can turn around and sit back. So we can go into it, and we'll have a ballot. The problem comes down to people that are on Zoom. We're gonna have to figure out how we're going to have them vote. Perfect.
Comrade Commander, given past elections, we've had issues with people voting remotely. I say we make it that you can only vote in person, no more remote voting,
Something we're gonna be brought up on the floor.
all right? Anybody opposed to that idea?
We have a motion from the floor that. We have a motion by Murphy and seconded by Jimmy Haladak that all votes have to be people that are present.
Are you all cool with that? In person, no votes via Zoom?
I'm good with that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
All right. What? Because that's what the,
That's what I'm saying, that would have to be votes.
but yes, the vote, what's gonna happen is we're gonna nominate, positions. We're gonna keep nominations open until the beginning of the meeting next month. We're gonna vote on the office. All right, all members of good standings are welcome to vote. Essentially, that means that a member cannot be suspended under Article 9. You can't be in trouble for anything. The other thing is, you also have to have your dues paid. So again, if you guys are in the rears, you can't vote. So, we have a ton of guys that didn't pay last month. Again, the officers and the membership committee has to get back on the phone and start finding out how come these guys did. All right, who can hold office? Again, if you're in good standing, you can pick one. All right. 2 positions. No person can hold 2 elected positions. Okay, but a person can hold 1 appointed and 1 elected. Okay, does everybody know what the officer's responsibilities are? Okay, like I said, it's been sent out via email. Most of your officers have gotten it before. If anybody needs the information of what each one of the positions go for, you can email it. If not, I'll hand you a hard copy. Okay. That being said, I have to go through and do this formally, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, first off, we need nominations for the position of commander. Nominations for the position of commander.
For the commander, I nominate Jim for governor.
I second.
Anybody else? Very much. Do I have any nominations for the position of commander? Any nominations for the position of commander? That being said, we're going to go into nominations for the position of senior vice commander. Do I have a nomination for senior vice commander.
For the commander, I nominate Charles Holodak, assistant vice.
Second that.
Comrade Commander, I nominate Chris Murray for senior vice commander.
Second on Joe. I got Joey for Charlie.
Second for Chris Murray. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what Mr. Madewell said.
Second.
He's got Charlie Halladay.
Oh, well, I got
And I got
Murray
Murphy and I have Molina for.
for Chris Murray.
Any other nominations, positions, senior vice commander?
Senior vice, anybody? Okay,
That being said, I have a nomination for the position of junior vice commander. Junior vice commander, any nominations?
right here. I will nominate Don Murph.
Bible's open, Murphy.
Oh,
Very nice, Murph. You know what, can I rescind that? No.
Would I get a second on that? Very,
I nominate Cat Nadell as junior vice commander.
very well. Can I get a second on that? Can I get a second on Cat? Okay, do we have any other nominations for position junior vice commander?
I nominate Chris Murray.
He's already been nominated for senior raise.
It's raining nominations,
At
Chris.
the same time, I understand.
I'm appointing
Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate, I love that. I don't know your first name.
I did not know Q name.
Q,
I nominate you then.
AKA Bo
I have a
Jackson.
second on Tanisha. Correct. Very well. Do I have any other nominations for the position of vice? If there's no more nominations for junior vice. Quartermaster, I need a nomination for position of quartermaster.
I nominate Joey Madewell.
Quarter to the master.
Way out.
Okay. Do I have any other nominations for position of quartermaster? Any other nominations for position of quartermaster? There's no other nominations for quartermaster. I need a nomination for 3-year trustee. Who's the 1-year trustee now anyway?
I voted, I said year 4.
Dominic, dude.
Dominic, that's it.
I think we fired him.
You did?
I don't know, we haven't seen it.
Well.
He's a buddy Papa chairman, he does actually send me some reports. I
Frank
need-
is the 1 year, Frank Rollhofer is 1 year trustee.
You're 3 years, so you're gonna be
Frank,
3 years.
Frank Rowenhofer is the 1-year trustee per Rick.
I thought you were like
Okay.
2.
That's what he's saying. Are you nominating him, Rick?
No, he's the 1 year trustee, so he backs out.
Okay, so I need a nomination for.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm a 3-year right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm moving 2 years.
Wait, are we still at the 3-year?
No,
Or
we
we are,
need one individual for trustee.
oh,
If you come to, the 3-year moves to 2 year, the 2 year moves to 1 year, the 1 year's
Okay.
out, he's already.
Sorry.
done.
Who's 1 year right now?
Dominic.
I nominate Dominic.
He's not here, so you don't have to pay. Let's get somebody to take.
and Frank dipped out, right? Beast?
Yes, currently for this year, as of today, Frank is the 1 year trustee.
Okay.
But he gets, upon nomination, upon next month's election, Frank bails
Okay,
the
do
position.
I have any other nominations for position?
Wait, can you type it in, Rick? Because I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rick is gonna type it in. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Come on, Rick, what do you got? Got a pizza.
Take some time today, please. So is the quartermaster.
I don't know what's going on with that. All right, we have all the positions that are elected. The other positions are all going to be appointed. Okay,
Oh.
appointed. Yes,
Rick's saying that Frank vacates a position on, for the new elections. He's a 1-year trustee. So Frank is vacating that.
and that's up.
Rowan
what you
Hopper.
said before.
That's, well, I couldn't hear him. That's why I asked him to type it in.
So what do we have as trustees right now? What year and positions are they in?
So Frank is a 1-year. And then Tim is
He's a
3
2-year?
year. Tim, right now you're a 3-year, is that
Yes.
correct?
So who's the 2-year?
Hold on. Tim is a 3 year trustee. Dominic is a 2 year trustee. Frank is a 1 year trustee, currently as of this year. Did you get that?
Got that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, going back into the rest of the positions, the outgoing commander, presents or nominates or puts a the surgeon into place. And the incoming, picks his own adjutant, service officer, and chaplain. Okay, I believe everybody and their mother loves, Mr. President, if you would, like to stick around, I love the people. That is him.
Yeah.
I put my heart and soul into the position. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
All right, that's gonna close nominations for now. Like I said, if any, because we don't have, it's bad weather, we don't have. Start off our meeting right after you open the meeting. We're gonna go into, see if anybody else wants to be nominated. If they want to be nominated, it's gonna be handwritten on each one of the ballots, which we typed up prior to us coming to the meeting. And then once we start the meeting, we're gonna go into election. And then we'll go through the rest of our. you guys need anything, want to know exactly what your positions are, it's all right here. Okay, do we have anything else for go to the order? Or new business? Great. Oh, it's not. Go ahead.
If it's serious, go ahead.
All right,
So, right.
so,
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
all right, so, the Knights of Columbus in Bell Road Village is selling their shuffleboard table.
22 foot.
Yeah, so the table, let me give you the description of the table. It's a 22-foot, 30-inch wide base, it's in 3 sections. It's a full maple wood top. The top needs a little refresh, but overall the table is in great shape, and the brand is American Shuffleboard. Basically, they want to sell it for $2,000. We could probably get it, myself, I want to go and take a look at it. We could probably get them down between $1,500 and $1,800. The machine brand new sells for about $20,000. So we figure we can put it downstairs in the canteen. We can start a shuffleboard league here, generate some good money for the post. So just want to
Get
get,
some camaraderie and have some fun.
Great idea.
just want to get everybody's thoughts on that.
Great idea.
How hard is it to resurface it?
We don't know. The commander and myself are gonna go take a look at it. I'm trusting the Knights of Columbus that they're gonna sell this thing in good faith. It's not all banged up. But it comes with everything. It comes with the pucks, comes with the table, comes with the rules. It's a beautiful table. So again, just want to put it out there and hear your thoughts.
You know, having deja vu, I remember you mentioned.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, take a look at it and.
Still available.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Take a look at
I
it.
talked to the gentleman, earlier. You go with that?
Yeah, as long as it's in good condition.
I was gonna say, even if
Yeah.
it's just a little bang up on the top, the guys that do the refinishing of the floors and the bowling alleys, they redo the show.
I have pictures of it. Anybody wants to see it?
I'll probably get a price from
Get a
Gloria.
look at a pencil.
I already went up and talked to them, and he's through the roof.
Through the roof?
Yeah, plus it's also the regulation tables at 22, the largest that he'll give us is 12.
We have a means of transporting it.
Yes, I talked to this kid Andrew that owes me a few favors, who's gonna flatbed, tow truck, and he will volunteer himself, in lieu of some summonses.
You know what? I'm in favor for it. Go ahead, go for it.
All right. We have anything else for good of the order? All right, to finish, or for new business? If there's nothing else for new business, I'm just gonna go into good of the order. Yes,
We're still in the new party, new business?
yes,
Yes.
weren't you supposed to bring stuff up? I asked you earlier, and you kind of just.
I'm not,
Go
new
ahead.
crayons to write anything up. There. There you go, Commander. You get one of those. I had proposed to Murray and to Murph that we put together a fundraiser for NAMI with a spin-off, adding, veterans mental health as well. A fundraiser, and it would be like wine tasting, and for those that don't drink, coffee and tea, have baked goods, and then have who was teaching me how to say charcuterie, whatever? The charcuterie kind of charcuterie option for the people that drink wine, one price, all you can drink, and one plate of like tapas.
Sure. Do you know when you want to do it?
Well, we were talking, I mentioned to Murray at the end of April, because we have to, when do we have to submit our fundraising?
Well, the kickoff is tomorrow. The actual walk is May 20th. But I mean, right up until May 20th, you can, sponsor and fundraise.
So there we go. So it would have to be between, I thought it was May 10th, April, before May 20th, we would have to, host this fundraiser.
I have no problem with it. I'm sure nobody here has a problem with it. But again, this is still in committee.
Right,
so
we
you
need
guys
to
are
add
still in committee.
ideas.
Just have your completed report for the next meeting,
Sure,
because I believe that we should probably have it by the 2nd or 3rd week of April. Because we're running into a bunch of other stuff that's gonna be coming.
yeah, we'll put together the details, et
Put it
cetera.
all together, go
And
through the
Kathy
event.
gave me some really good ideas, so we're gonna include and
Yeah.
mix it up.
Like I
and
said,
then-
grab the event committee, put it together, we'll just approve it at the next meeting. And we'll go forward and find out how much more. So,
Okay.
thank you very much. All right, do I have anything else on the court and business?
So as you mentioned, NAMI is holding a fundraiser. Tomorrow's our kickoff event. It's gonna be at 6 p.m. at the Women's Club of Westchester in White Plains. There's gonna be great food, great music, great camaraderie. It's surrounding mental health, and you're all invited to come, it's free. So,
Can you shoot something out to me via email so I can send it back out first thing in the morning? So
no
guys know
problem, it's on
exactly what-
Eventbrite, so it's a free event, so I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I just want, well, I want for the people that aren't here, I
Q.
want them to know.
I have it up here. I'll just forward it to him.
Sure.
And then,
Okay.
Yeah,
and then
that's
Mac,
fine.
if
That
you
way we get
could
to-
send it to everyone.
Thank you. We have anything else on new business? We have nothing else in new business. I'm gonna go into the order. A couple of things that we have coming up. Again, we have to have a representative. And we're going up to Albany, 1st of April for the Department of New York. Good one to come. So we don't have a choice. We have to be there. If we're not there, we will have our choice. So again, on that note, we're asking for, we need $500 so we can pay for our room, board, and food and gas. And anybody that wants to avail themselves, come on up for the night, Friday night, we'll deal with the stuff we have to deal with on Saturday, drive back Saturday.
What time would you be back by on Saturday?
We'd only get out at about 4, so we should probably be back by 6. If you need to take off a little earlier, take off earlier, you know how these things work.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, if we gotta get out of there at 2 o'clock, we'll take off at 2. Can you make it work?
I work Saturday nights. So
What time?
I gotta be there by 5. And I don't wanna short us the time, valuable time.
It's not about even time, it's going to me. Let me find out exactly, I have the list here. Give you help. I get a motion from the floor for financing it.
600.
$500 is what was asked for.
Lost
Jamie
revenue.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Hey, now let's go back and have some fun. Friday is St. Patrick's Day. Saturday is Yonkers. Sorry that this year we had to cancel our kids' St. Patrick's Day get together, but our guys that wanted had a. So we're gonna still put together the kids' Easter egg and Easter party. We just had to cancel the kid St. Patrick's Day. Saturday, we are all marching. Anybody that wants to march, we're marching down on McLean Avenue. Okay, we're meeting up down by Stillwell Park, the beer distributed across the street is where the veterans are meeting. We're marching off about 10 minutes after 1. We'll be down there by 1:15. Meet here, we'll see what we can do about transportation from here down there. We have food coming back here. There'll be, it's gonna be corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, shepherd's pie, all different breads and stuff like that. So come back post afterwards, or disappear on McLean Avenue, have fun. The biggest thing is that we would like to do is just show a good presence to veterans. We'd like to get together and show that, you know, we're a substantial force. And so when we actually go up to City Hall or when we go up to Albany, they know that we exist.
Covers, and we wanna look fun. We wanna look
Okay, we wanna look
So
professional.
I gotta wear underwear with my kilt.
No, you can't. That's a problem. You know what? We're on the way with it.
You're welcome to wear it.
Don't shave your legs.
It's
I
just,
could see Patrick's Day.
right, what we're gonna do is we're looking to see, guys, if you can, for the officers that like to wear a tie, jacket, and the overseas cap, wear a sweater, wear whatever you have to do underneath the blue jacket. Just like to look professional, you're walking down, you know, just look like a bag of muscles. Right?
Bag of
Yes,
ass.
Q.
I just also want to bring up, what I read is that they're having, I mean, not for us, but if anyone else, you know, is going, that they have shuttles going from Empire, Casino down there.
Yes, and again, if you get on that shuttle, it's gonna take you forever. We're gonna set something else up. Where we'll get in and get out without being stuck. That's my suggestion. Probably meet up here about noon and then go forward from there.
11:30.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, how about we just go back into, anybody got anything from the floor? Any concerns, yes,
Sorry. I have to bring up for the 550th time about our roster.
yes.
Veterans need to be contacted. So, case closed, I'm gonna shut up, so.
He's right. He's 100% right. We have guys that have not paid their dues, and that's the only reason that we have contact. We try to make contact phone calls to them, not getting answers. I don't know if these guys are alive or not. You know, going online to see if we can find obituaries. Again, a couple of months ago, we had some members that passed away that, you know, probably needed our help. We could help them out. And we really need to make our phone calls. We really need to get in touch with Joel Betts. Anything else in the other concerns?
We already have a plan. All the officers were given a list. They have their own squads. They need to call their squad members.
I'm naive to this, but what is the dues? I mean,
It's your membership.
All right.
Annual membership.
Well, what happens is,
I paid a lifetime, so what
Yeah.
does that mean?
right, you're fine, but again,
Okay.
what happens if nobody's contacted you and you just disappear off? the
Well,
face of
I
the
feel
earth?
bad because when I hear people are in arrears, I got a lifetime membership, so I thought, I'm trying to find out what that means.
Okay, what happens is you got two different types of membership. Actually, there's 5 different, so I'm gonna go back. What happens if you had an annual member? Somebody joins, they say, okay, listen, like, well, then they pay $30 every year. Or some guy says, I don't wanna pay it, yes, I'm gonna turn around and pay one time, and that makes me a life member, I never have to make another payment.
Can you tell me if I'm like?
You are, you said you paid for it, so you
Well,
can look on the
I'm
roster.
hoping so.
We have access to the
I
website.
want to make sure that I'm.
So the commander and myself, we get a list every month, what dues, what members didn't pay their dues. Him and I normally contact people. We're all over this, right? Because we have to make sure, first of all, it's for their benefit, for the benefits benefit. But it's also for the benefit to show numbers in our post, right? So it's very important, goes both ways. So commander and myself are on the phone every day about this, right? So again, it would help, right? However, we understand people have lives. You know, I'll give you an example, like Chris goes to school, he's working, it's very difficult to find time to make phone calls. So if we can get people to kind of, jump in and help, that would be great. You know, so, and we could try to figure this out, but again, the commander and myself, we do this every day.
But again, and one of the reasons that we stopped was because of the membership. It's supposed to be.
Now, equally, as a business, if I was to get a list of people who need to be tightened up, could we do that? Tighten up. the people up?
Absolutely.
We could have, if there's people in need, we'll let you,
That's what I wanna know.
yeah, we'll let you know that most of the people that
Absolutely.
haven't paid aren't in the need. They just,
Then let's tighten people up.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think that this should be a committee-based thing. The phone calls in general should be a committee-based thing, because, a good point that Joe made today is,
Whoa.
a lot of us are very busy, like, I don't even talk to my own friends, let alone have time to call a list of over, I think I got like 90-something people. So like,
no, you should only
Well,
have. you should
no, no, no.
only have-
So-
Yeah, it was 25. that we broke
yeah, it's
down.
25, but I mean in general, like I don't have time, I don't talk to my kids that often. They expect me to go and talk to, so I think this should be committee-based, I think this should be brought to a committee, and this should be, the committee can then get members to do this, because again, there are people there who are retired, there are people who have more time than, some of the officers here do. So if we should make this a committee, have the committee take care of this. Like I said, I have access to the Google Drive doc that has all the names on it. I can easily add anybody to that list who wants to take initiative, start making phone calls easily, like within like a couple minutes. So I mean, like, I think it should be more committee-based, because I think, because if people are willing to take their time out to do it, they'll be more willing to do it than somebody who's forced upon to do it, who doesn't have time for their own stuff. So.
Let me just suggest. So it isn't, again, let me just make it clear, it isn't every member that we have, right? So what Pat decided to do is like, let's reach out to our members and see how they're doing, like a welfare check. But this is people who are doing. So it seems as though in the research that Commander and myself have done, it seems like most of our members are due to renew in March and April, whatever reason, right? That's when they join the VFW. So now their dues are due, right? So a lot of them are coming, the end of March is coming quick, and they haven't paid their dues. So we're concerned for them. So it's a handful of people. It isn't the entire post membership.
And I think you're missing the whole point. We're mixing apples and
Right,
oranges.
exactly.
The first original, and what we're looking for is making phone calls, and again, having certain guys responsible for certain people. Listen, you took a position as an officer in the post, maybe you should step up and do the work. And again, if you can't do it, as a supervisor, if you find somebody else that can make phone calls. Question just goes back in, if you're in charge of 15 guys, you're gonna make phone calls, sure, let us know online. I mean, the reason that we went back in saying that it came up to dues is because that's what we'll find out, unless, Richie Point hasn't paid.
Welfare check is
This
just
guy-
as important as.
Right, but
Oh,
the
absolutely.
welfare check is even more important because we're showing that we give a damn
Right.
about our veterans. And again, we're making the phone call and we're checking in on them, saying, hey, listen, is there anything that you need? Hold on, you have these problems, you know what? Why don't you hook up with Nancy? You got these problems, you know what? Why don't you hook up with Andrew? You got these problems, you know what? Get in touch with, this guy. Somebody over here can help. Hey, you got a problem with your plumbing, you know, get in touch with this guy. You know, we have the connections that help out each other. But again, I'm sure that somebody that's been close to 30 years gets a phone call.
Hang on,
instead of just
Beast,
getting
I'll tell
emails
him.
that Nobody reads. They're gonna look onto the stuff and say, you know what? Post gives a damn about me, maybe I should get over a damn about. Thank you.
Alright, so, I've been here relatively about, we've been here a year. And I'm not really sure how the nominations work for everyone. And I know that a lot of people don't know like what our background lives is and our school and jobs and all that other stuff. So if someone nominates you for something, you're not capable of, complying with whatever that nomination is gonna entail. From what I'm told, you don't have to accept the nomination, just let someone know and have them put someone else on it so that that person can take on the responsibility. Also, for whoever doesn't know, my job is I track down IRR soldiers. Like I literally like go in the system and I find them and that's what I do. So I don't mind making the phone calls. Like I don't mind reaching out to soldiers. So I wouldn't mind being a part of that committee. Like that's literally what I do is reach out to soldiers. So.
To
Awesome.
that end, is there any registry
You're
that
awesome.
says what we are professional? So that we know who we might be able to point somebody to or who has
You mean
the skills?
that identifies how professional?
Right, what our skill sets are to each other.
Well, we really don't have that in like any kind of
Why don't we
spreadsheet.
do that?
We actually, we have something like on each one of the membership cards, and this goes back into membership committee, membership committee. When you originally come in, after you fill out your application, membership committee, commander is supposed to sit down with you. And on the back of your card, you write down exactly what's the guy do for a living, what do they got for skills. Then during the course of the year, you go back over like who's paid up, who's done whatever, what positions have you taken, what training, that all goes on the back of this card. Like I said, our membership committee director kind of fell off the face of the earth, and I can understand she's working her tail off to raise kids. It's kind of hard to be something on one person, and
We
with
would refresh them.
very much, and that's, again, once we get back some of our paperwork, we can go forward, but this is why it's so important as we're coming up into this nomination process and the election process, to look at people that can actually move the mission forward. And again, that's kind of what I wrote up when I sent out the emails today. So if you guys get a chance when you're home, instead of me holding everybody up, all that. What's up?
Okay, so, here we go. So perfect opportunity segue for announcing mental health first aid, April 21st online. This should teach you what to do when or what to look for when you're speaking with someone in crisis. What to do if they are having a mental health breakdown, or if they're suicidal, there's a difference, and where to go. So, April 21st, I'll share that information. Q and I are doing it. We're hosting it. That's part one. Part two, I will share also a list of resources. And if you don't want to do all that, I am the director of Vet to Vet, and I connect people with resources, and I have funds. So if someone is short of groceries, or if they need transportation, we could pay for their Uber or their Lyft, as long as it's not a long-term transportation need. We can pay for moving, storage, just little things. It's completely anonymous. No one will know. No one in here will know. So I'll have Jim share my information with everyone again. And even if it sounds off, like if someone needs tires for their car to get to work, we can help them and it won't be announced. So just so you guys can keep that in the back of your mind, even if it's not for you, someone you may know. It could be a spouse, it could be a child of a veteran, and the veteran himself, and active duty as well, reserves. Okay.
Also, if you guys went back and you saw the second email, it's about different funding opportunities for veterans at different types of issues. But again, that goes back into, we have different resources. That people need. we don't know if our members need anything unless we communicate. And again, with 250 members or 300 members, or whatever we have, what happens is, people move, people migrate, whatever, and they don't want to be involved, they don't want to be involved. Again, majority of people be happy just to get a phone call and say, hey, I'm slow, it's good. Or, yeah, you know what, it's,
You don't know
Maybe
what
talk-
you don't know.
you don't know anything, but that's the reason, like I said, the officer should step up. And again, if an officer can't do that, maybe they should turn around and grab somebody on the side, delegate this stuff, and then have somebody else. Okay, that being, we're running a little bit late here, sorry about keeping you guys, everybody's gonna work. All right, if we have, do we have anything else in the business prior to the order? If not, we're gonna go into our closing ceremonies. Being no further business, we'll have our closing ceremonies. All right. Is that on? On. Pray rest, Carmen Chapel.
Almighty God, the hour has come when we must part. We commit ourselves to thy care, thou who art our strong tower of defense and our protection. Pray that in life's battles we may be strong and brave, living such lives of stainless integrity as shall reflect honor upon our country and the veterans of foreign wars of the United States, and glorify thy great and holy name. May thy good providence shield us from all harm, watch over those who even now guard the gates of freedom, and bring us together again in true comradeship. Peace.
All right, so now declare this. Comrades, I now declare the business session of the Yonkers City Council on 1666 closed. Our next regular meeting is going to be April 11th. Okay, get your cards, let's pull some numbers. Jump on it. Anybody else need to get involved in the 55th? Or did not do the what? Oh. Like, 65. $3 corner.
All right, 248-2297.
Yes. I do.
That's a fix. How come you win every year?
Give it back. Oh, you-
Oh.
Make me laugh, stop.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I know what
Oh,
it is.
shoot. Okay, guys. Geez, can I end it?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, thank you. Good night, guys.
Good night.
What do you call it?